Hello, everyone. Another news story going on. What is this? For Jewish community, Paris riots stoke fear they will become targets of violence. Before sunset, Jonathan C. draws the curtains of his apartment in the Paris suburb of Sarcelles tightly and make sure no light can be seen from outside. Who the hell is getting all poetic with this? I don't want my place to be seen from the street and get targeted. Jonathan C., a Jewish 40-year-old who works in the city as a procurement professional? That sounds criminal. Told the Times of Israel on Friday. I'm very afraid, he added, referring to a wave of nocturnal riots that has rocked the streets of Sarcelles and other areas around the country with large Muslim communities. The riots broke out Tuesday following the slaying by a police officer of a 17-year-old boy of Algerian descent. The teenager was driving a rented Mercedes and refused to comply with the instructions of an officer who pulled him over for a routine roadside inspection near Paris. The officer shot him dead, reportedly for fear for the lives of other officers. Goddamn. Thousands of Jews who live in Sarcelles and other areas with large Muslim population perceive the riots as a direct threat and reminder of the volatility of life in crowded neighborhoods with a history of anti-Semitic violence. How the fuck are you making this about you? In Sarcelles, an ordinarily calm but bustling suburb with an ethnically diverse population and a parking shortage, the riots have transformed the urban landscape into a battle zone where looters shatter storefronts to the light of burning tires. There are some tiny cars. Must be convenient to get rid of them. The riots are polarizing event in an already divided society and a test for the administration of President Emmanuel Macron, a politician with a center-left electoral base. He has nonetheless gone further than any of his recent predecessors to address the concerns of many immigration skeptics on the right. So far, the rioters have not targeted Jews, several community leaders confirm, probably because they live in a rich neighborhood. Unidentified perpetrators did vandalize a monument for Holocaust victims in Nanterre, the Paris suburb where the 17-year-old, identified in the French media only as Nahil M, was killed. The perpetrators spray-painted the words "police scum" on the monument. In addition, some anti-Semitic chants have been heard during anti-police riots, part of a well-documented sentiment among some Muslims who see Jews as part of an oppressive power structure. Seems to happen everywhere you go. Suspicious. So the Muslims are getting attacked, and the Jews are worried that they'll be next because they don't trust the Muslims. Interesting. But we're not targeted specifically. This is just chaos. The rioters smashed Jewish-owned shops, Arab-owned shops, even the bus and the metro stations that their own families use to get to work. Jonathan C. said, a kosher supermarket and a wig shop for Orthodox Jewish women. Jewish women go bald? Were among the businesses ransacked in Sarcelles, Jonathan C. said, but there was no logic to the madness. The rioters just smashed any shop in their path. There's no selection. He added, what is this? Nahel? Statistique. Place Beauvais. Was it Fluke? Oh, the French. What is this? Calais Police. All right. Many rioters, Jonathan C. said, are no older than 15, and some are even 12. No, say it isn't so. There's no ideology. These are kids participating in barbarity, he said. In an address this week, Macron urged parents to take responsibility for underage rioters, 1/3 of whom, he said, were young or very young. What the fuck does that? Afraid as a Jew, afraid as a Frenchman. Since Tuesday, police have arrested hundreds of rioters, including Auberville, never again, another heavily Muslim suburb of Paris. It has fewer Jewish residents, but it does house a large and popular Jewish school affiliated with the Chabad Lubavitch movement. Each weekday, morning and afternoon, minibuses gathered there to fetch and return hundreds of Jewish students from across Paris, the Paris region. The riots have caused delays because of traffic complications. Rabbi Ari buzzing, who lives in Drancy, but is affiliated with the Chabad community of Abuvel, told the Times of Israel the riots necessitate some security arrangements, which Nesivil declined to discuss due to safety concerns. Or he's cheap. But the school has not been targeted to the best of our knowledge, and the disturbances happen long after school hours, he said. For Jews in Paris and Sarcelles, especially the riots invoke the event of 2014 when perpetrators singled out Jewish-owned shops in that suburb nicknamed Little Jerusalem due to its large Jewish population of about 20,000. Ooh, that's a lot of Jews. In 2014 the 2014 attacks, which also targeted multiple synagogues outside Sarcelles, were part of an explosion of hostility by Muslims against Jews amid the 2014 Gaza war between Israel and Hamas and other terrorist groups in Palestinian enclave. And pull up your pants. What are you, American? In 2014, I was afraid as a Jew. This time, I'm afraid as a Frenchman. Should be afraid as an asshole, said Jonathan C., noting that he does not have a Middle Eastern appearance. So you're Jew. Police and firefighters are common targets of violence by rioters whom may believe are acting out of resentment of French society, where the anti-immigration far right is the second largest political force. Other incidents are seen by some as reflecting a religious dimension of the riots, which are occurring in heavily Muslim areas. On Thursday, two unidentified individuals beat up and robbed a priest in Saint-Etienne near Lyon. Disagreements exist on whether the assault, the second attack of a priest in the region in 3 weeks, was part of the riots. Hate attacks against Christians are multiplying in France, where in 2021, the Interior Ministry recorded 1,052 anti-Christian hate crimes, nearly double the assaults on Jews. But yet Jews are still scared. It meant that Christians were in absolute numbers at least the religious group that was most targeted that year. That's worrisome to many French Jews. I mean, not really. Christians tend to be busybodies who view the hundreds of anti-Semitic and anti-Christian attacks, as well as attacks against police, as part of the same resurgence of radical Islam in communities of immigrants and their descendants in France. Well, now you're just turning against the Muslims. What is wrong with you? Macron's statement on the subject suggested he shares these concerns. In 2020, he announced what he himself termed a radical plan requiring children to attend state-recognized schools from age 3, effectively barring the practice of Muslim homeschooling and mandating an oath to allegiance to the state from religious associations. Are you out of your fucking mind? In 2019, Macron said that France must develop a society of vigilance in its fight against the Hydra. Vigilante, Hydra, mutants. Anyways, of Islamist militancy. New words for me. A reference to a multi-headed monster in Greek mythology. His language, which resembled far-right terminology, was unprecedented, coming from a sitting president, reflected growing resentment towards radical Islam following the Charlie Hebdo, Hypercacher, and Bataclan. All sounds like superheroes. Terrorist attacks in 2015, some of the most brutal incidents in a wave of jihadist violence that left hundreds dead in France. Many French Jews lauded Macron for declaring a tough stance, but the continuation of wide-scale rioting connected to the politics of immigration from Muslim countries, despite his actions, is giving rise to concerns. There's a feeling of negligence on the part of law enforcement, a reluctance to confront problem. Jonathan C. said there's a shortage of cops and they're not there when the riots happen. Yeah, because they're getting attacked. This better end soon. Let me see how. No. Oh, wait, it does end. I was about to quit. I was about to quit the hell out of this in 20. Okay, where was I? Macron remarks classifying the police shooting of the teenager in Nanterre as inexcusable. We make no excuses. Have only strengthened Jonathan C's concerns about how authorities are handling the riots, in which thousands of cars and shops have been damaged. It's costing them money. I don't know, man. Something about Jews and money. On Friday, Macron announced the deployment of 45,000 police officers around Paris to deal with what he called the current crisis. He praised the police force and its officers' courage and condemned those who used this moment to sow hate. Whose clothes is that? But by condemning the shooting officer, who reportedly said that he had shot Nahil M because he feared that the teen would ram the officer's partner with his car. Yeah, maybe if the kid was trying to freaking drive away. It's a deadly weapon. Macron violated the separation of authorities and signaled to police he doesn't have their backs, said Jonathan C. That's not good. Jonathan C's pro-police attitude is shared by both the leaders and the rank and file of France's Jewish community of about 400,000 people, whose synagogues and schools for several years have received police and army protection. In Marseille, the rioting has taken place outside the neighborhoods favored by the city's 70,000-odd Jews, according to Bruno Benjamin, the head of the local branch of the CRIF, Federation of French Jewish Communities. There are no special security directives for the city's Jews, but it's a bad idea to go walking around at night for anyone now, he told the Times of Israel. Benjamin said it was too soon to judge how authorities are handling the situation. Look, we've had a mass riots every night for 3 to 4 nights now. If God damn it, I'm so sick of this. If it continues, we'll know that the problem is more serious than we thought, Benjamin told the Times of this. Fuck you, Benjamin. Anyways, Until next time.